Redevelopment in Waikiki is not just about economics. In 1976, the Honolulu City Council created the Waikiki Special District. It set forth objectives, guidelines, and rules intended to encourage redevelopment and increase urbanization, but also requiring more public and private open space, more views Mauka to the mountains and Makai to the ocean, to restore a Hawaiian sense of place in Waikiki.
The Waikiki Special District regulations really has many objectives. One is to enhance and keep vibrant the local residential community in Waikiki. The second is to redevelop the tourism infrastructure and allow avenues for landowners to improve the tourism structures to make sure that Waikiki stays a special place and a premier destination for tourism in the world.
When the 2010 City Council considered Kyo-ya's new Diamond Head Tower, it determined the project to be the type of redevelopment that's suited for Waikiki. After extensive study and review by his department, the city planning director concluded the new Diamond Head Tower substantially achieved every one of the special district objectives and granted a partial variance from coastal height and setback development standards. Former Honolulu Planning Director Henry Ng is as familiar as anyone with those issues and the standard of review that will be applied to such decisions.
Based on my reading of the charter criteria, I don't think there is adequate basis to overturn the director's decision. I think that he looked at the facts, he made his decision, he was not arbitrary, he did not abuse his discretion. Abuse of discretion really is when all the facts, the preponderance of facts is going one way and you decide in the opposite direction. This did not occur.
In the Waikiki Special District amendments, the zoning guidelines that direct the building's design highly encourage buildings that have Mauka Makai orientation. The current building has an Eva Diamond Head direction orientation, essentially blocking views from the ocean to the mountains and vice versa. The encouragement is to turn those buildings perpendicular to the shoreline, allowing for view planes in the Mauka Makai direction. It's also culturally very important. As we know, the Ahupua'a concept talked about sustainability from the mountains to the ocean, and connectivity is part of that sustainability. So for the first time since the existing building was built in the 1950s, one will be able to have a continuous view corridor and open building massing zone from the mountains to the ocean.
Creating a new vision for beachfront development, the Diamond Head Tower would establish for the first time since the 1950s substantial views Makai to the ocean and Mauka to the mountains in the heart of Waikiki. These street and beach level views and access corridors would not be the only advantage realized from squeezing the building up to create open space and orienting the new tower in the Mauka to Makai direction prized by the special district standards. A visual and some would say spiritual connection would now be possible through the entire Ahupua'a, from the mountains above Manoa to the ocean in Waikiki.
The cultural planning process involved getting together a group of cultural specialists that have some standing in the Hawaiian community. And we went into a series of meetings, blue sky meetings, and simply asked them, if this were your project, what would you do to help assist in returning to a Hawaiian sense of place?
Cultural influences also extend to the building itself. Typical cost-first design principles were set aside to give creative and cultural advisors the opportunity to make a statement about the importance and value of Waikiki's unique history as a playground for ali'i and a place where surfing was invented and has been an important part of the culture for more than 500 years.
The design of the resort was based on a lot of cultural influences we got from a cultural focus group that was put together. Convened by Peter Apo, cultural practitioners, cultural historians were gathered, and over a course of several years worth of discussions, influences came about. Many of these influences related to Waikiki, but the most significant, I think, was this idea of surfing. Surfing was the reoccurring theme that came up in our discussions. Hawaiians have been surfing in Waikiki for 500 years, and it made a perfect reference back to what we were trying to do architecturally.
This process, culminating in the vision for a new Diamond Head Tower that would be a worthy representative of its place and its people, left a mark on those who took part in the multi-year creative process.
The only thing that really separates us, for the most part, from a lot of tropical destinations is Hawaiians. I mean, you can only find Hawaiians in Hawaii. I think one of the wonderful things that came out of this, Hawaii, very seldom do you find visitor industry types even asking Hawaiians' opinion. So those of us who participated, or the Hawaiians that we called forward, were really thrilled to want to participate and want to do their part to making this part of Waikiki a better place.
The new Diamond Head Tower, a modern statement of traditional Waikiki culture, has also been attacked on the claim that its location would damage Waikiki Beach or reduce public access to the beach and surf.
The Waikiki Special District encourages public access, allowing for public access to our shoreline environment. So we do this through a couple means. We've talked about opening up visual access, but we've also opened up pedestrian access to the shoreline. As part of this project, there's been a dedicated 15-foot easement on property that allows access to the beach. It's the largest and most landscaped of its kind from Fort Tarusi to Kuhio Beach Park. So in the entire stretch of Waikiki, there's only 2 others, and this is the largest.
New beach access, though, does not mean the new tower will be constructed on the beach. The claim that the tower will impair or impact the beach has never been the reality, according to Hawaii's foremost ocean engineers who have studied the project.
We're all concerned about Waikiki Beach. We're all concerned to keep Waikiki in a local-friendly environment. We want the best for Waikiki. The truth is, everybody, and literally everybody in Waikiki, wishes that all the buildings and roads were a football field back from the shoreline. But the horse is out of the barn in that respect. The design for Waikiki was done over 100 years ago. The language that I've been hearing about the tower development having effect on the beach, I think it simply is an emotional reaction. The building itself will have no impact on the beach at all because there's no engineering or building planned for the beach. The beach is a completely separate environment, and it's not going to be affected any more than it is right now. It's not going to be affected by the Diamond Head Tower.
While the Diamond Head Tower will be built entirely on land at least 40 feet from the current seawall and have no impact on the beach, there are still concerns about beach erosion.
The scenic stretch of sand is shrinking, but crews will soon be widening the beach. The project is starting just as new numbers show a boost in the state's visitor industry. Hawaii News Now's Lisa Kubota is here now with the details. Lisa.
Steph, the sand will be replenished in a different area than the last project in 2006. Crews are doing the work in the winter when the surf is fairly flat along the south shore. Waikiki Beach is packed with people from all over the world.
Love it. It's great.
Beautiful. While the tourism industry hopes to lure more visitors to Waikiki, this famous stretch of sand is shrinking due to erosion. The state says Hawaii could lose an estimated $2 billion in overall visitor expenditures and $150 million in tax revenue if nothing is done. The state held a blessing for the $2.3 million project that stretches from Kuhio Beach to the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. A barge similar to this one used in 2006 will collect 24,000 cubic yards of sand from offshore and pump it through a pipe to a basin on the beach. Once the sand is dry, it will be blown into place using a new method. Parts of the beach will be blocked off starting Monday for public safety.
It's going to depend on how well the public reacts to the closures. If the public does not react positively, then we're going to have to take larger chunks out of public use.
On average, the beach will be 37 feet wider and 6 feet higher, providing a lot more space for all those towels and mats.
Waikiki Beach means a lot to not only local residents, but means a lot to our visitors. So it's a great investment in Hawaii's future.
The project's price tag is $2.3 million. That will be split between the state, the Hawaii Tourism Authority, and Kyo-ya Hotels and Resorts. The work is expected to wrap up in March, depending on the weather. Lisa Kubota, Hawaii News Now.